How can I educate my seat? Which training methods make sense?
Originally, the academic art of riding was taught in the riding academies. And when a young nobleman came to such an academy, he didn't went there by foot or by airplane, he went there by horseback. So he had thousands of kilometers of experience in riding, you think. What he actually was just transported. And you see it in many kinds of riding today, where people only use their hand and their heel to ride a horse with. In the academic art of riding, we have our ideals already from, for example, Pluvinel, who says, my main goal is to rule the horse only by the hip. It means, of course, by the seat. So when a young man came to the riding academy, he was put up onto a horse between the pillars, an academic educated horse. And suddenly he would discover that he was not even able to make the horse stand, because it reacted on everything. Everything he did with his body, the horse was mirroring. And that is what we try in the academic art of riding, that the horse shall understand the seat. And therefore the education of a horse in standing makes such a lot of sense, not only to bend the haunches of the horse and educate the horse, because an uneducated seat, if you put it on a horse, for example in canter, the rider will lose control over hands and legs, and it doesn't help you just to keep them stiff. So when I was educated on the lance by my teachers, I was just exercised into a certain shape. They asked me, sit like this. And as I'm quite well built after what they expect a rider to be built like, it was not so difficult. Of course, it took many, many months with every new trainer again, because they wanted different seats. But just having the seat looking as if is not a seat. It's just a doing as if. First, when the horse understands what you tell it through the seat, then first it gets, in academic point of view, a seat. We have three different kinds of influence of the horse from the seat. The first is giving shape to the horse. So when you're standing, you can, for example, rotate the chest by your seat and see in the spine up into the skull that you get a stelling out of what you do with the seat. You can move your point of weight and see in standing that you get a shoulder in, forward down, or a quarter in halt just in standing. And that was what the young man trained between the pillars, all exercises in standing. Then, when he could do it in standing, he started to do it on movement, but in that case, between the pillars, movement on the place. When horses are not that well educated, it's of course impossible, so we have to go in movement forward, and in that case, I advise you to lance yourself. Having somebody to lance the horse who's not well educated in lancing doesn't help you either. So I'm so lucky that I have practicants being quite good, made already the groundwork lance test, so they can lance my youngsters when I'm sitting on it, and we can work together that I from up is showing the horse the seat messages, and the person from down is showing the messages from down. So we have a, for the horse, a logical step between groundwork, lancing, written. The problem is when you have made your horse very fine on the aid and it starts to react on everything, and you have an uneducated seat, I call it a luxury problem, because the horse will show you that your seat is not good enough. And humans has to recognize first that they have a problem before they start to work with it. So many of my pupils will get the problem that the horse is so beautiful educated in groundwork lance level that they start to listen to what you tell. And then you should better tell it well. Then you get the wish for having a body ability. And all kind of body awareness will help you. Like ballet or kung fu, I don't care, it's a body awareness, but it can be counterproductive. When you have learned to do things that the horse will interpret different, you might get in a bad situation. And therefore, even nowadays, some seat programs will just teach you to have a look-alike seat. A look-alike seat the horse can use for nothing. So ask the horse what is a good seat, it's a message. So first we can work in standing with shape and balance. The problem is you cannot teach swung in standing. So you might have an okay seat when the horse is standing, but then you need in your body a walk movement in walk, a trot movement in trot, a canter movement in canter, a tölt movement in tölt. And that is the problem when people then get into movement, that they don't have it in their own body. So when I have people riding tölt, I'll often ask them, even before they sit on the horse, how does the tölt look in your body? And they'll start to make a movement, and I can already there see if their tölt is more doing amble or if they're doing tölt. And the trick question is afterwards, how does the trot look? And in many, many cases you'll discover people do not have a trot in their own body. What a wonder that the horse cannot trot with that person on their back, blocking the swung in their back. So what you want from the horse, it must be in your body first. It's like dancing. You dance the part of the gentleman, and must start in your body, and then you bring it into the lady. And that's exactly the same thing we want in the academic art, that the horse shall mirror your body. Then you discover all other aids are secondary. But secondary to what? So first, many people will have to teach the horses secondary aid like hand, and find out how to replace the hand with what they can do with their body. And the rein, how to bring the chest in a direction out of your stomach, the direction you're sitting, and your legs. How can you replace all these things with your seat? And it's first when you discover how in your body you can replace a secondary aid that your seat is really a seat. You will seldom get so far that you use no secondary aids anymore. But there will be little moments where you discover that they are not needed. And that's where your seat is sufficient. That's where your seat is good. That's where the horse tells you this is a good seat. So ask the horse. That's the way to find out how to have a good seat. The eyes of a human might just think that it looks beautiful, but then it's always the horse to decide. It can understand you. And if it doesn't understand you or even think you tell rubbish, listen to the horse.